All right, Shalom. So, all right, first and foremost, I always want to start by giving praises to YAHAWASHI. Double honors to the apostles and the elders up at Great Millstone who rule well and continue to push out this word at a high frequency. And we also want to say peace and much love to the sincere Akim that's out pushing out this word throughout the four corners of the earth in truth and sincerity, man, and continue to push and fight this fight. Okay, it's the brothers here from the Atlanta camp, GMS Atlanta camp. All right, and we want to go into a topic of basically studying your enemy. Okay, and how that you can use that as an advantage because and the reason why we felt compelled to go into this is because we dealing in the times of warfare. Okay, and it's always a beneficial factor when you gain a win or a W to study your enemy. Okay. Like if you play basketball or football or if you box or anything like that, before you go up against your opponent, usually what happens, they watch film, they study their movements, their patterns, okay? If they, in a particular situation, how would they react, okay? They look at all sides of the spectacle, so to speak, in order to be able to be successful and come out victorious, okay? So with us here, as being men of the Lord, and we battling in the spiritual battle, we must study our enemy, which is who? First and foremost, the so-called white man. All right, and then it trickles down to the other nations and 2/3 of our people. Okay. All right, we watch and we study. We should be watching and we should be studying everything that they're doing. Okay, because that is going to give us an advantage in that day when the big fight comes. Okay, so we're going to start with 2 Corinthians 11:2.
2 Corinthians 11:2. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us.
Right, now the word Satan goes back to the Hebrew word shaitan, all right, which means adversary. Mm-hmm. Okay, it says lest Satan should get so who is the adversary? All right, Esau. Esau is adverse to the ways of YAHAWASHI, which makes him the adversary. Okay, a lot of these people out here, they hear the word Satan and they get all confused, but the word simply means adversary. So who is the main satanic demon, or the main adverse demon is Esau. Okay. But you have satanic Israelites, you have satanic women, you have satanic people of the other nation. Okay, but who is mainly the satanic physical counterpart here is Esau. All right, so it said at least Satan should get an advantage over us. Go ahead, brother.
For we are not ignorant of his devices.
That's right. And why are we not ignorant of his devices? Is because why? Because we study. We watch his movements. Okay. We're making calculated moves or calculated studies. Okay, on this devil. To where when we get ready to engage in this battle, okay, because we are already in a battle right now. We're in a spiritual battle. But the spirit usually, it starts out spiritually and it manifests physically. Okay, so we're going to go into a physical battle with Esau. Because why? Because Esau he's a carnal demon. Okay, and he's setting up the scale for it to progress into being a physical altercation. Right. So with that being said, as we move forward into those times, we study him. We're not ignorant of the RFID microchip. We're not ignorant of martial law and concentration camps, and we're not ignorant of his antiquities. We know that he comes from the wicked. Okay, you was going to say something, Mike?
Yeah, if I could say this, we're not ignorant of who's the leaders as well. Mm-hmm. Because part of taking down an enemy is knowing who the enemy is, which Jake doesn't know who the enemy is. That's right. Right now they're marching and stuff. All right, they think the enemies are. They think right now Jake thinks the enemy is the cops, right? But it's bigger than that, man. Your enemy is the elites that's sending down the message to the cops to kill you niggas, man. All right, but part of taking down the enemy is knowing, okay, you gotta hone in on certain Edomites, their leaders. Okay, the Rothschilds. Okay, which one of the Rothschild you want to study? Okay, I'm gonna study this. You know what I'm saying? You gotta know each. You gotta get to know the family, man. The different families, right?
Right. You got Jacob.
Get specific.
Yeah.
Jacob D. Rothschild.
That's right. You got Evelyn. Was it Nathan?
Mm-hmm.
You got a list of different families, and it's very beneficial to study up on Esau, man. Okay, because on the flip side, okay, they studying up on Jake. Yeah. Like if you go to a Israelite neighborhood or a nigga neighborhood, they usually have certain clinics set up. I can't think of the name right now, but where Jake can go in and he can donate blood, and usually they have it set up like that because they want the blood samples of so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And what you think they're gonna do with those blood samples? They're gonna study them. They're gonna run tests. They're gonna do all kind of things. Esau will sit up there and Esau studies us, man. He studies his enemies, man.
Yeah. And they specifically study you too.
That's right.
Because they got through your internet, your YouTube, just like you go through the YouTube what is that? Your YouTube suggestions. How do you think they do that, man?
That's right.
They know what you like.
Yeah.
They specifically know. They probably got a whole team that's specifically towards studying you or watching your whole phone patterns, your emails, whatever it is, they watching you. You know what I'm saying? Specifically you. Because you're on I don't know if it's the red list. I think it's the red list that they got that the people
primary
their primary targets were on that red list, man. Because they know that the Lord is dealing with. They know that the men of the Lord is GMS.
That's right. So they watching us, man. Mm-hmm. And in return, we must study our enemies. Mm-hmm. All right. So
now I want to speak on something to the next scripture. When I was hauling cars, I gave this Jake a ride, and this Jake we rode for like 2 hours, and Jake went into how he had donated himself to this hospital or whatever in Texas. And he was saying that, they do experiments on it, giving these drugs and do experiments on them. And they give them like $1,000 to $1,200, and they keep them for a month to see how they react to it, So, yeah, Esau, they studying us.
That's right. That's right. Hey, man, Esau, and if you look at Floyd Mayweather's, or if you look at the Evander Holyfields, or if you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers or the Los Angeles Lakers, whenever they get ready to face their opponent, what do they usually do? They study film. They critique their opponent. They see, the plays they run. They size them up so that way they can have a common, understanding of what they're going up against. And that's why Jake is out here bugging out, rioting and protesting for peace, is because they're not studying the enemy. They don't know that the so-called white man is the wicked. So let's get a few precepts, man. Let's not go too long. Let's get a couple of precepts. Okay. You got one?
Proverbs.
All right, go ahead. Proverbs 12 and 26.
Proverbs 12 and 26.
Go ahead.
The righteous is more excellent than his neighbor.
Right, go ahead.
But the way of the wicked seduceth them.
That's right. See, a mass majority of these people out here are seduced by the wicked. Mm-hmm. Okay? They're seduced, and the only way you're going to get seduced by the wicked is not by taking heed of who this man is. Mm-hmm. Okay? So you got Jake out here in the damn free-for-all right now, okay? Not knowing if they coming or going, because they're not giving a concerted effort to study their enemy. Mm-hmm. They don't know that Esau comes from, he's a direct descendant from the line of wickedness, man. His seed has been set aside and designated to be the seed of wicked. They don't understand that, man. But then in turn, they'll turn around and call him a white devil. But do you really understand why you call him a white devil? Is it because of certain things he did, or is it because you've studied in the scriptures and you understand the birth, okay, of the wicked seed, to where you can link the so-called white man to the wicked. We've done this study, okay, and a lot of this stuff, has been revealed to us from the spirit of YAHAWASHI being passed down through the elders and apostles, because they've done the study.
That's right.
Okay,
that's right.
Go ahead.
It's Proverbs 4:16. For they sleep not, except they have done mischief.
That's right. The scriptures say what? They sleep not, except they have done mischief. Go ahead.
And their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall.
That's right. And their sleep is taken away unless they cause something to fall, which is letting you know what? That the so-called white man, this is his nature. This is his human nature, man. Okay? His nature is to bring chaos and agony in the world. Okay? And he has rulership. But you got a nigga out here, okay? Because he don't understand, what's going on in these times and days, to where he'll sit up there and think that the fight is up against the cops. The real fight, it ain't against the cops, man. Okay? The real fight is up against that whole seed of Esau. Okay? And him being taken out, because you got niggas in the police force. You got Hamites, you got Japhites, you got Moabites, you got, all kind of different nations within the police force, man. Okay? But why they asses, they ain't nothing but damn jesters, man. They don't know what the hell is really going on, man. They're just carrying out the acts, okay? But really, who's passing these different laws, okay, to give these different rights to these police officers to gun people down and get off scot-free? The so-called white man is, all right, through his congressional, legislations, his house rules, okay, his executive orders and things of that nature. That's why they're able to do what they're able to do. Okay, whenever there's a problem, you must attack the root of it. Okay, if you have a cancer within your body, it's not going to be beneficial to kill part of it and leave the other part. You got to attack the root of the cancer.
That's right.
That's how you get rid of it. And the root of the cancer or the problem of the earth is that whole nation of Esau, which today is a so-called white man. Okay, any brothers have some precepts, or I have one?
Yeah, bring it.
All right, come. 2 Thessalonians 2:3. It says, "Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition." All right, so who is the man of sin, the son of perdition? That the word perdition means destruction. Who is that? Esau, and he's being revealed today. All right, which means what? If he's being revealed, that means YAHAWASHI set up prophets, okay, to basically bring out his bullshit. Meaning that those prophets have done an intense studying on this guy, and in order to be able to designate him as the undoubtedly being the wicked. Okay, so it's very beneficial going into these times of tribulation and trouble to know who your enemy is, to know what he's going to do in these situations, to know how he's going to react in certain situations.
That's right.
Okay? It says, verse 4, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called the Most High, and that is worship, so that he is as the Most High, so that he as the Most High sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing to himself that he is the Most High. Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things, and now ye know what withholdeth that he might be revealed in his time. That's what's happening. The so-called white man is being revealed, but YAHAWASHI, he spoke of these things, man. Okay, he spoke of these things before he went up and gave his life. He spoke of the man of perdition, man. That man of sin, who exalted himself as the Most High.
That's right.
Okay? So YAHAWASHI, he studied on the enemy. So what more for us, man? We in the war, man. Okay? We have to know when America goes to war with certain countries, they have to know what kind of artillery they have, what kind of fighter jets they have, warships, okay? Their different territories that they've taken over, and they have to know an extensive amount of information about the enemy, man.
That's right.
You can't go into any fight blind, man.
That's right.
You gotta be skilled.
That's right.
You have to be skilled. You have to know your strengths and your weaknesses of your enemy in order to be able to defeat him. You have to know his strengths and weaknesses, man.
That's right.
Okay, go ahead.
Psalms 106:10. And he saved them from the hand of him. And he saved him from the hand of him that hated them, and redeemed them from the hand of the enemy.
That's right. So now, who is the enemy, man? The so-called white man is the enemy, pursuing the Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. Okay, he is our natural-born enemy, man. Okay, and something.
And I mean, we're ultimately gonna be saved from the hand of the enemy, but it starts with learning. It starts with not only learning the enemy, but just learning your people, learning who you are as a people, learning your culture, learning the truth, and growing in the spirit of YAHAWASHI. But as you grow in that knowledge, you're gonna grow into learning the enemy as well. Because the apostles say all the time, we don't just go out there and call the white man a devil. You know what I'm saying? It's deeper than that, man. You gotta know. You gotta. You know what I'm saying? Have a certain level and know what's going on, man. What's going on in the world? How they're dealing. You know what I'm saying? Which we know the nature of the so-called white man. Cool. Just like the scripture said, we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. Cool. And Satan is a damn liar, man. Cool. So that's one thing that we gotta understand is that when the so-called white man tells you something, don't believe it, man. That's right. And that's man. We know the nature of the so-called white man. It's a liar. So
and just like from the apostles, Great Millstone on down, the apostles been watching Esau with his chip, man, for years.
That's exactly.
Right, one of the first group that bring it out, and basically did study on it and watch, that's watching the opponent.
That's right, and they're able to pass that information down to us, man.
That's right.
Okay, they're like the coaches, man.
That's right.
Whenever the coach is going up against an opponent, all right, and they pass it down to the players or whatever. Okay, that's what it is, man. You have to know certain things about your enemy, man, because if you don't know about, like, you look at these other Israelite groups, and we're gonna get ready to, cut it short. Okay, it's running out of battery life. So like your argument if it was too short, but if you look at these other camps out here, they don't really go into the chip. They don't really go into martial law. They don't really go into, the tactics, or they don't really go into the nature of Esau like that to the point of where it's going to boil over in the end times. They don't really go into that like that, man. Okay, where they warning the people, and they're doing an extensive research on Esau, man. They don't really go into that, man. Okay, but us here at GMS, through the spirit of YAHAWASHI being passed down through the elders and apostles, and on down to the camp heads and the certain rankings of the camps, okay, we go into that information and we pass it down to the newer brothers, okay, to give them a clear and concise understanding of why you must know who your enemy is, man.
Right. Okay. Honestly, I mean, if Esau is not your enemy, if you're not focused on Esau coming down, then you're not ready for the kingdom. You're not in the right spirit anyway. That's right. Because you gotta want, because the Second Ezra says what, Jacob held the hand of Esau in the beginning of this world, or the end of this world.
Jacob is the Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows.
Exactly. So these other camps, they're not ready. They're not ready for Jacob to have the following world.
That's right. They're not. Yeah, they're not. Hey, real quick, I'm gonna get one more scripture, Akim, and I'm gonna close out. Get us second. Second Ezra 9:1.
I got it right here. Second Ezra 9:1.